Welcome to 2021, and we're going to kick 2021 off with me having a go again at the Lilac Mini Messenger by Calla. I've made this once before. It was quite a while ago. I hadn't long been sewing. I made quite a few mistakes. Hopefully this time I will make it, hopefully, perfectly. Go on to the Calla site and print out the Lilac Mini Messenger pattern. My advice is let it all come out all in one, and then number each page in order, because it's very easy to get this one mixed up in procedure in order. So my advice is to number each page. Use the patterns that come with, this is just one of them. Do your cutting and cut out your interfacing and fleece interfacing, or whatever you choose to do. You don't have to use any of the interfacing. These suggest you can use your own. I'm using either light, medium or fleece, what they suggested. I've ironed it all on and we are ready to go. First thing we are going to do is the O-ring straps, and the way they did that was to take your square, your pattern piece, fold it in half and crease, fold your outsides into that crease, and then fold these over again. Now when you're finished, you should be the same as each other. And then obviously mine's cork. I prefer to use wonder clips rather than pins, and then do 1/8 of an inch both sides. Next, put your D-ring through your strap. I'm using silver hardware today, and fold it over so it's like this, and then baste. I'm using cork, so it's very thick, so I've lengthened my stitch to 5, and I'm just going to baste just under 1/4 of an inch. This is the strap. Fold 1/2 inch over on one side. Do exactly the same as you did for the O-rings. Find the centre and crease. If you've got fabric, then you can do this with an iron. And then fold each outside into the crease, and then fold together. Do that and clip the whole length, and then sew exactly the same as the O-ring, 1/8 of an inch either side. I need that to be underneath that way, so put this on and fold it under. To make sure I roughly do it the same. There you go, that's roughly the same. Let's see if this one also. I've still got my stitch length on 5. Looks like my thread come undone, but that seems to have sewn in. I've got a punch, so what I should forgot what you call them, rivet press. so I should probably rivet mine in as well, just to make doubly sure. But basically that's what I'm doing with mine. One long length, which is the length I need to go over my shoulder, and then two of them with the openings to fit onto the D-rings. If you've got a different one, then you'll have to do yours as you wish. I have a craft knife, and then you need to push, let me think, this through to the other side, which is there. Put one of these on now, because my lining side, or my other side, not my lining side, it's the back side of the flap. Because that's got fusible fleece on, I'm not going to bother putting any extra fabric on. But if I'd just got plain fabric, I'll put a square piece of fabric on there. That's it. Bend that over so it's nice and secure, and there you've got, that's the male side we've used. That leaves the female side to go onto the main body. That's just there like that, and that will fit that way. When that comes round from the top, that will fit onto there. Put your flap pieces right sides together. You should have cut your fleece 3/8 of an inch or thereabouts shorter than your actual pattern, and then do 3/8 of an inch from the top all the way around. Use your pinking shears. And turn your flap through. That's the side obviously then that comes down, because that's where your stud is. I'm going to press this, and then we're going to top stitch all the way around. So now that's the flap finished, and you close this top bit 1/8 of an inch. I've done top stitching at a scant 1/4 of an inch, but it should be 1/8 of an inch. It's entirely up to you. And I'm just going to cut this straight across the top and then base that 1/8 of an inch. Flap done. That's the front, that's the underside. I've got my closure part 1 fitted. I've top stitched, and I've 1/8 of an inch across there to base the tops together. And we'll move on to the next bit. So now we need to put on the opposite side of the clasp. In your pattern you'll have a little circle. This is where the oval is for their fitting. When the pattern was on, I kept it in position, and then I marked on my first my front. I made this my front bit, obviously with marking it. Obviously the back doesn't have one, so obviously there in the centre is where I fit the other half to this. So yet again we need a craft knife. Take the top off, and I need this to face up so I can cut the holes. I can mark the holes first to make my life easier, either side. And I need to mark. Then this has got to be on this side facing up, and I can push them two through. Put the other side on and then press them down. I've got interfacing on, so I won't need to put a strap of fabric. There you go, so now that one's on. And that now fits the flap, which will be going over the bag that way. That should be in the right position now. They did say an inch up from the top, and that is where they position their lock. So hopefully we're in the right place. Right, next bit. So now we're going to put the zip into the pocket lining. The wrong side of your pocket, one of your pocket lining, this is your 8 by 6 inches, measure 1 inch down and draw a line. We now got to do the box that we can put post through. Now you're not going to see this, so it doesn't matter if you write on this side. Then do 3/8 of an inch, which is 1, 2, okay, it's 1, 2, 3. It's very difficult that side to see. 1, 2, 3, so that's 1, 2 and 3, so it's this side. So do 3/8 of an inch down below that inch. So you do an inch, then 3/8 of an inch, and then it's got to be 6 inches wide. Now if this is an 8-inch box, if this fabric, sorry, is 8 inches wide, then you've got, and you want 6 inches, then you've got to come in, so there's 1 inch either side. That leaves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 inches in the middle. So there's 6 inches there, plus 7, plus 8. Do the same on the bottom one. In fact, you can draw them in. You can. You draw in just a box straight down there. Straight down there. You know you've got 6 inches in between. Then while you've got it this side, do it in the middle of the box. Draw a line. Then mark 1/2 inch from the box in. Then draw a line. So roughly, you don't have to be exact, but there's 1/2 inch. And there's 1/2 inch. Then from where your line is in the centre to the outside of your box, join them together, and you're making a V. Again, making a V to the centre of your box. From there, make a V or a triangle, whichever way you look at it, basically, and that's what you need. So there you go, that's what you want. 1 inch, 3/8 of an inch size box, 6 inches, which if you've got an inch that side, just draw a mark and you've got 6 inches in the middle. Half that box, make sure it's 1/2 inch from there, 1/2 inch from there, and then draw a triangle or a V shape. And then we need to sew on that box all the way around, and then we need to sew that on top of, and this is the one you haven't put. Let me just double check. Take your second body panel and one zippered pocket lining. On the wrong side of the pocket lining, draw a rectangle. This is 6 by 3/8 height at the top, about an inch from the top. Place this pocket lining right side on top of the body panel, about an inch from the top, straight edge of the body panel. Make sure it is connected as well. So basically you've got to get that into the middle. once you've levelled that an inch from the bottom and made sure it's the same width either side from the top, then I've decreased my stitch length to 1.8 and then sew the box. Yeah, so once you've got your box sewn in, now's the time where you can, where you've drawn the line in the centre, just make sure that you're very good with one of these, otherwise use scissors. All you're doing is creating a slit, so you can put your scissors in and then you're going to cut up to the edge of the V and then turn towards, making sure that you do not go through your stitches. Right to the corner, but not through your stitches. To the edge of the V, then up to the corner, but not through. Get as close as you dare. You can always pull it back and just cut a little tiny bit more. Right, when you've done that, now's the time to post it through. You're making a post box on that side as well. So once you've pressed it as best you can, I'm surprised actually my cut went as flat as what it did, but it did, so there you go. And that's what you should have the other side. Then you put it on top of your zip, and obviously you need to move it so you've got this, and I'm going to put mine on the left. It's entirely up to you where you put yours. Usually it's always on the left, and so it opens. Now to get it central, what I'm going to do is take my zip with double-sided, so just to sort of like, just a bit, just to see if I can help secure it. Not very good that in, so I'll take that one up now. Put it right on the edge so it's out the way. Right, take the ends off. Line it down and manoeuvre your centre, making sure that your fabric's where it's supposed to be, over the top, and make sure it's central. Then press, and then that's what you should have. Then we need to put our zip foot on and sew all the way around, which then should catch all the zip from the back. That's what we'll do next, change our foot. Right, foot's on. I'm going to increase my stitch to 2.5, and it's a nylon zip, so it should be okay going across. And we'll do the next bit. So the next thing to do is right sides together is pin the other pocket. Once you've pinned it, right, you've got darts that you cut out on all of your pieces. That's two lining in your two mains. Just turn them right sides together, and then sew. Now you can clip or pin if you wanted to. Don't forget it's 3/8 of an inch. And the lining piece is the one that's got the fusible fleece, and your fusible fleece should have been cut so as not to get in the way and make it too thick. Right sides together, like so, and 3/8 of an inch. One side done, and do it for all 4 pieces. Take your 2 outside fabric pieces, take your O-rings and pin them dead in the centre, pin or clip of your main bag area. Make sure they're in the centre and at least 1/4 to 1/2 an inch up proud from the top, and then clip or pin them into place. Then you need to base them in across the top, and do that to both sides. As you can see, I've had to rethink my O-ring sections because it was too thick, the cork, so I've done it out of the fabric. You make sure it's halfway in between your sides of your bag, and I'm sticking up about 1/4 of an inch, 3/8 of an inch from the top, and do that on both sides, and then baste across. This is when we put your flap on. Please make sure if you're using 2 different fabrics and where your closure is, that you're putting it on the right side. Start by placing it that way, and then try and work out how you would sew it on. So therefore you lift it up and turn it over, then you know that mine had to go on that way. So my corks were together, and then obviously the one with the prested was up. It's 3/8 of an inch. Make sure that it's central in between your seam allowances from either side, so make sure it's central, and then it's 3/8 of an inch, and sew in, and then you can test it out to see whether it works or not, and I'm glad to say that mine do. So there you go, that's that bit. As you could, I think I've already told you about the fact that I had to change those. So, and that's where we are up to now. Take both pocket pieces lining, one is without fusible, one is with. Just put them right sides together. You need to leave about that much at the top open, and then sew all the way around. And then use your pinking shears to trim all the way around. And then turn the other way, and then press. So once you have it pulled out to the right side and completely pressed, then just top stitch the top 1/8 of an inch. There you go, and then trim your ends. And that's your inside pocket made ready. On this section I'm using the grid on my mat just to roughly make this pocket about 1.5 inches down from the top, and making sure it's level either side, and then pin. And then I assume it's 1/8 of an inch. Eighth of an inch from leaving the top open, not doing the top. So that's that now sewn on. Now if you haven't already done so, then sew your darts together on the lining the same as you did for the top section. And that's just right sides together and 3/8 of an inch. With right sides together on your lining pieces, clip or pin, making sure that your seams match, just the same as you did for the top. Push one seam one way and one seam the other, and then they'll nestle together a little bit better. Do the top. And then do the sides. So, 3/8 of an inch. And there's your gap at your bottom that you'll birth your bag through, and then turn it right sides out. Just to double check that everything's okay. That's good. That's together at there, look. And that's together there, so that was good. There's your pocket one side. Right, once you've checked your lining's absolutely fine and you're happy with that, then turn it back so that the wrong side's out. And this is where you're going to fit connect one bag into the other. This is the right side facing out, making sure that your flaps at the back down out the way. It's got to be right sides together, so you put that inside your lining and that makes them right sides together. Push them down. Should all be, so make sure these are in at the sides. It should be the same size when you come to pin. You might have to mess with it a bit to get it to push down. What you need to do then is put your sides together first, because that's where your seams are. And obviously with them in the middle you're not going to be able to see, but you've got to guess as best you can that that is central. And clip or pin, turn it round to the other side. Making sure that's central, and clip and pin. Then everything should be the same. If you've cut both your patterns in right, that looks fine there. And that is fine there. So basically what you do then, just double check your size once you're in. get your end off your machine. So you want to do it, if you want to stitch these twice you can. I like to start it on a, and I'm going by my lining, the height of my lining, 3/8 of an inch in. I'm going to put my stitch length onto 4 because of the O-rings. Once you've gone past the O-rings, you can do that twice actually. Then you could decrease. I'm going to do it to 2.5. Trim the top with all the extra bits. Right, well, I've actually birthed the bag before I make it neat and tidy. Make sure your corners are out. Both sides, all your seams are out in the right place. We need to close the bottom, and so what I'm going to do now is press the whole bag, making sure it's all pressed out correctly because it's all creased again now, and then do the bottom right, then sew that 1/8 of an inch. There it is. It's all done. There's the inside. I don't know how much you can see of that. There you go. And then pockets this side. It fits absolutely perfectly with the lock or whatever you're using. I'm happy that I've got an accent colour on there and the straps there. I've made the inside grey, and so it's nice and light, and it matches the white. I've got flashes of white here, and I've got bits of white there and bits of white there. So I'm happy with that. Straps are absolutely fine, and you could have a short one. You can make it a clutch bag, and there's the zip at the back. There we go. And white to match the white flecks that are in the cork, and I'm happy with that. It actually worked out better than the first one I did, and well, I hope you enjoyed watching that. I hope it inspires you to have a go. It's a lovely little messenger bag for a free pattern, and it gets you to grips with inside pockets, inside lining and zips. So I hope you enjoy. Hope you've enjoyed watching that, and I hope you have a go, and let me know if you do. Thank you for joining me. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and each time I put a video up you will be notified. Thank you. Bye bye then.